Hello and welcome to today's webinar. It is going to be about the creation and editing of the LeoVegas content. We're going to walk through all of the different steps. As a point of housekeeping and note, I'm recording this from home, so there may be some stray sounds, dogs barking, and I apologize for that, but I wanted to get this done, and the only opportunity I had was the weekend. By the way, this is Dave Snyder, the CEO of CopyPress. I really appreciate you taking this project on, and I wanted to set you up for success by walking you through the project. This is an interesting project because while the copy is only about, 100 words in length, 150, let's say max, it's extremely difficult copy to write. The reason for that is because of the length. The length presents issues, and the customer really wants quality in terms of being able to convey personality and click-throughs. So we're limited by words, but we still have a conversion to create in terms of clicks, and so this creates kind of an issue. It's an easy issue to fix if you have the basics down, and that's what this webinar is all about. So right now we're taking a look at some examples of quality pieces, and we'll come back to these. The first thing I wanted to kind of set up was what the anatomy of these pieces looks like. The sheet we're looking at right now is one of the templates that's been created for you to work in and for us to deliver the copy in. Some points of note with this are that you're going to have to copy and paste these pieces into our CMS in order for editors to be able to approve them. Also, so we can do spell check and grammar check, because since it's in a Google Doc, those opportunities aren't there, at least a Google spreadsheet. So copying and pasting is important. But also try to make sure that you watch out for typos. I've had a number of typos myself, and it's really easy when you're working in these small spaces and without a spell check and a grammar check that you're used to. So the anatomy, each of these is broken up into what we'll call the metadata. So basic SEO title, meta description. SEO title we're limited on overall. We'll go into it, but because we need to put the name of the slot as well as a bonus, we have limitations there. Meta is a place where we need to be really creative, and I think we've gotten down a pretty good baseline in terms of format for that we'll walk through. Then you have the copy that's going to actually be seen on page by a consumer. This breaks into 3 sections, and you can see there the intro section here where we're actually discussing a quick intro to the game. Features, these are the features of the game. And then the facts section. This is information where the features tells you what's going on with the game. The facts section tells you, the macro level, like how many reels there are, pay lines, who made the game, things that gamers will want to know outside of what features are available in the game. This last box is the complete box. That's taking sections 1, 2, and 3 into one place for easy delivery, and also for you to be able to copy and paste it into the CMS. All right, so we're going to walk through essentially how to create one of these pieces step by step. And we're going to go through it in terms of a sheet that I've made that takes all the details from the style guide and puts it into one place. So we'll start with the title. And you'll get access to this. It's called the LeoVegas details sheet. There's some do's and don'ts we'll walk through later, but we're starting here. So title, meta, intro, features, we'll walk through all of them. All right, so the first thing, SEO title length, 55 characters. As you'll see in the sheet that we created, the characters are noted in these boxes at the top. And so if you go over in character length, they'll turn red, right? And so if I just added a bunch of characters, this piece should turn red. Right now it's not, I think, because I copy and pasted these into this document. Nope, actually, I just took a while. So yeah, it turned red. Right, and so yellow means you're coming in dangerous. Now, red doesn't just mean over, it could also mean under, because we're looking for a minimum number of characters for each of these. And so I've seen a lot of fact sections where we've needed to add things in to complete them. Or sometimes you'll have a game that has a really limited feature set and you need to add them in. But the character length is really important. It's based on formatting, and in this case, in what Google will actually show in its results. So you have 55 characters to work with, plus or minus 3 characters. You want to capitalize the first letters of everything. Use and in preference to and the word, the ampersand instead of and. So first, capitalize first letters of everything, such as this, right? First letter of Kuza, slot, A, casino bonus is A. So everything's capitalized. That's how you want to work through your titles. Primary keyword we're focusing on is the name of the slot, as noted there in the text. It's at the beginning, and then there's some piping after it. Then you need to make sure you add in bonus is as well to it, right? So bonus up to whatever the country level bonus is, a casino bonus up to with a blank bonus. There's different ways to say this, and you should vary them. What we don't want is templated titles and them all to be the same, especially since so much of the character count is made up of this. So you can see like there's 2 here that are specifically the same, but we also have, this is actually a Canada one, and then 150%. So there's percentage-based bonuses, money-based bonuses, and then different ways to say each one. This is the example sheet. So a better example is this, how we have a 1,500 casino bonus in the beginning. Then the back end of this is casino bonus, then a bonus up to. So everything's a little bit different, adding in deposit bonus. And a lot of it's going to be based on how much character you can add to your title tag. So main objectives with this section is we want to evoke a click-through response in the reader. So what's important to the reader when they're looking for these games is, 1, do you have the game? 2, a lot of times what's the bonus associated with the casino, right? So we have that bonus information. And then on top of that, like, just are you making them click through? So I only have a few characters, a few words to really get something into this. So you really want to use a themed phrase of 1 to 3 words to get into the mix. So examples we have here: Adventure Palace, go wild, right? Adventure Palace is about a palace in a jungle and has animals and whatnot. So Adventure Palace, go wild with 150% deposit bonus, right? You really only have go wild to get across your point. South Park slot, 4 bonus games. That's a big part of that slot. There's a lot of bonus games and up to $1,500 on entry. So while South Park doesn't evoke a response, it's in terms of personality, it is getting across the point. We don't have a lot to work with in this case. So let's look through the examples. We look through the adventure. So Agent Jane Blonde is a James Bond kind of spoof or female version of your mission, a bonus up to 1,200 euros. Play on your mission if you choose to accept it. Ariana slot, this one's about a mermaid. Dive into fun with a 1,200 euro casino bonus. Avalon slot, play with a legendary 1,200 casino bonus. Avalon is based on King Arthur legend. Avalon's 2 slot, same thing. Claim a legendary $1,500 casino bonus. Those are a little bit too similar, but they're also in 2 different countries, which is why that happened, I think. Barbar Black Sheep, count on a $1,500 bonus, so play on counting sheep. Barrels of Fun with beer slot, the Beer Fest slot, so barrels of beer. So there's a little bit of room to put some personality in play. And like I said, you can also mix up how you use the deposit. So you're able to put the deposit at the beginning in some places, towards the end in others. So like we saw, a $1,500 casino bonus is a showstopper. So and that's the showstopper, and this one is Circus du Soleil. So themed words bonus. The titles are something that pretty quick to get the strategy for and create good ones. Also, when you don't put a lot of time into them, it's easy to create a lot of duds. So really want to get the hang of it. Meta description. You have 144 characters to 155 characters. Usually you're looking at 2 sentences with these. The primary keyword is going to be the slot name. Now, an important variation here is that if it's a slot like Bar Black Sheep, where there's nothing else that exists on the web called Bar Black Sheep, right? So we'll look it up. So Google's a good use for this. So go Bar Black Sheep. Oh, I said Blar, right? Bar Black Sheep. Look it up. And so you'll see like it comes in as Baba Black Sheep. Here, right? And then all of a sudden you get slot stuff in as well. So there's nothing really else called Bar Black Sheep in the mix. And usually what you'll see when we're in a UK based, and I'll actually turn that on right now. So we'll turn on a UK based VPN. You'll see that it comes up as Bar Black Sheep. So give me 1 second. I'll turn on the VPN. So the better example, right? South Park slot. Type in South Park, there's going to be 1,000 different things about South Park. So Google doesn't recognize South Park as a slot machine necessarily. So when you're creating your slot text, you want to really make sure that you reference this as South Park slot, not just South Park. So going back to the bar, now that my VPN's on, so South Park's one where you would say South Park slot, all those words together, whereas Bar Black Sheep, you can actually just say Bar Black Sheep, not Bar Black Sheep slot, because as you see in the UK, it automatically comes up, play Bar Black Sheep, play Bar Black Sheep, right? There's a bunch of different variations. So when you're referencing slots in the meta description, you'll want to actually add in the slot name. Make Kronos the Greek god, right? There's no slot there. Whereas we'll look at some of these need to be edited. You may want to put in Kuza, in this Kuza slot as something, because Kuza is actually the name of a Circus du Soleil show. So slot keywords, you want to make sure that you use the word slot in there. You want to make sure that you're adding a keyword outside of the primary keyword. So mobile slot, video slot, variations on that. Okay, so going back to these examples, or actually we'll take our really positive examples. Five Reel Drive is a Go Lightning slot game straight, right? So it also says mobile casino in the second thing. Delve into the jungle with this Adventure Palace slot, and then Agent Jane Blonde slot with handy gadgets, casino mission, mobile casino. So utilizing the keywords where they fit. Avalon slot, spin through, video slot in this Avalon 2 one is a good one, right? So we use video slot here. So Avalon 2, and then online video slot is a utilization there. So I think there's a lot of places to add in keywords that are useful. And those are the ones you want to utilize. The objective of the meta, it's the most creative area probably in the entire piece, because you're given 2 full sentences where you don't necessarily have to pack in a bunch of features or other things. You're given a lot more license in these 2 sentences that you are elsewhere. Most important is that you evoke a click-through emotion, and you want to keep to the theme, and you want to throw in game features when they fit. Okay. Notes. You always want to reference this slot, not the slot. So this isn't an ambiguous thing. You're trying to get people to click through to this slot. So you're letting them know Bar Black Sheep, this Bar Black Sheep slot, this one that you're about to play, not the Bar Black Sheep slot. And so it's just the immediacy of that language. Always express the values of fun, but don't repeat the word fun over and over. There's a few words that you really need to keep an eye on: fun, spin, and win. Those are the ones that win is one that's really touchy because you don't want to tell. The reason people play online games is supposed to be to have fun, not to make money, right? So we want to kind of stay away from win. But fun is and spin are just ones that get reused over and over, especially when you get thin on ideas of how to present the information. And so it's one of those things where I think and we're going to create this for you. You need to have a list of synonyms lying around for fun, spin, and some of these other things. You want to introduce LeoVegas. So you want to have the words at LeoVegas or something like that, but you always want to say at LeoVegas. You want to think about LeoVegas as a physical casino. And so when you're talking about a slot at a casino, you would always say, I played this whatever quick spin slot at Hard Rock Casino. You would never say I played this quick spin slot from the Hard Rock Casino because the Hard Rock didn't make the slot. And in the same case here, LeoVegas didn't make any of these games. They licensed them from different providers that we're mentioning. So the at is very important. You want to stay away from free spins when introducing a feature. Okay. Free spins aren't important to have in the meta because they're not something that's going to be unique to that game. But secondly, they don't want people to think that free spins are something that's kind of like a bonus at LeoVegas. It's not a bonus feature. It's a feature of the game. So let's look at some examples here. But first thing I want to do is go down to the steps. We're going to skip examples and go to the steps. So I actually created steps for you to create the perfect meta, all right, based on the stuff above. First step, introduce the game, right? Do it in a creative way. Don't just be like this bar black sheep slot, get to counting in this bar black sheep slot, something creative, but introduce the game. The next thing you want to do is you want to introduce LeoVegas somewhere. So, get to counting with this bar black sheep slot at LeoVegas, right? It's maybe the end of your first sentence. Then you want to introduce a feature, so let's say there's a gamble feature. Play today with the gamble feature and then add some more, as you go down to the farm. Something like that where you add some more theme and personality in another slot-based term or slot keyword. So those are the 4 steps to this 2-sentence piece. So let's look at this. And so what I did was I took these pieces and I color coded them based on the different pieces, right? Stray this way, right? So stray based on kitty being the keyword or the slot. Stray this way and play with kitty glitter to see why everybody wants to be a cat at LeoVegas. Top cat and mobile casino. Run wild on the reels and win big. All right. So we introduce the game with kitty glitter. We bring in personality in the beginning with it. And then we are adding theme, why everybody wants to be a cat. So we're adding personality to this. So I would also should actually color code stray this way and play with, because that's also pulling that together. My fault. All right. And then, like I said, then everybody wants to be a cat. We have kitty glitter. Which is introducing the game, and then at LeoVegas, right? At, never from. So we're introducing LeoVegas there. All right. Top cat and mobile gaming. Run wild on the reels and win big. So run wild, they're throwing out there. It's more of a less of a feature, but the fact that it's capitalized denotes that it's a feature and how we're using it. But run wild on the reels and win big. So this is a case where win actually can be utilized, pile points, things like that. There's different ways to do it. Next one, play Starburst. This one's a really generic slot game, so there's not a lot of personality to add into this one. But intro the game Starburst and win both ways on one of the best online slots there is. Enjoy expanding wilds. That's a feature introduction, something that somebody might actually want to go there just to do. As you enter a new galaxy, that's a place of feature since it's Starburst Galaxy of mobile gaming. So mobile gaming is one of the secondary keywords at LeoVegas. 5 Reel Drive is a Go Lightning slot. So 5-Year-Old Drive is the game. Immediately Go Lightning slot game straight from the 1950s. Those are all features based on the game. So drive on in and spin your reels rather than spin your wheels at the fastest mobile casino. Key terms there is, LeoVegas. So you can see, like, you want to intro the game, introduce LeoVegas, introduce a feature, add some theme and personality to each one. If you stripped any of these pieces out, this would be incorrect, right? So if you're leaving LeoVegas out, if you're leaving a feature out, even if it's, again, a vague feature like Run Wild, because you actually went more personality heavy, and at the end of the day, that's kind of what we want. Is this should be the most personality driven piece there is. But like with Starburst, sometimes you'll have games that just don't have a lot of personality to them. So what do you do there? Well, then you really want to probably highlight a feature instead of that. So these are kind of, step 3 and 4 are the places where you're going to get your keyword count or your word count from, where steps 1 and 2 are going to be limited to just the name of the game. Again, if it's like there is a Kiss, the rock band game, you want to put, this Kiss slot. You always want to have slot after the name of a brand or a term. Another one is Bridesmaids, the movie Bridesmaids, this bridesmaid slot. Because if they're searching for bridesmaids, anybody searching for bridesmaids isn't necessarily looking for a slot. So we really want to focus in on that. The other thing to point out while we're here, and we'll continue to point it out, is that these should not become formulaic. Granted, I gave you a formula, but if you look at each of these, they started off some with verbs. This one started with a noun, the actual slot itself. This one has LeoVegas at the end without an at. This one has it with an at. This one has at LeoVegas in the middle of the entire meta. None of these follow a set formula. What we saw a lot of when people were doing formula driven is this kitty glitter slot at LeoVegas can. This Starburst slot at LeoVegas. That's wrong, because these should read individual and have personality of their own. We should be able to put any 5 of them next to each other and not see similarities between them in terms of it just reading like a robot wrote it. All right, the next section is the intro. This is going to be a max of 90 characters. You're probably talking about one sentence. It's going to begin with the slot name. Then you also want to have other keywords into it. So video slot, slot online slot, mobile slot, slot game, slot machine, fruit machine. So let's look at some of the examples that we have. Actually, formatting. Open with a game name. Use a comma, not a colon. Use of wild, scatters, etc. should be capitalized. Always capitalize, no matter where it is. The use of wild, scatters, bonus games, bonus features, feature games, anything like that. Anything where you're talking about a feature. The reason is we want this to be super scannable. So when people are looking through the text, they can be like, oh, when it says wilds, like I'm looking for a game with wilds, 5 scatters, maybe a gambling feature, whatever it is. So that way they can see what the features are quickly. Objective, be creative, but keep it simple and keep it casino. So you don't want to be too creative in this one sentence, these 90 characters, where you're not mentioning something online, casino, or slot related. Clearly be inspired by the game theme, but equally by the main features. I will say that you don't want to pack this section with main features because the feature section's coming. But you do want to remember that this is a slot game and not just like for Bridesmaids. Again, a great example. You don't want to just talk about the movie because that's not what we're doing here. We're talking about the slot. So we don't want to talk about the movie necessarily. Notes, set the tone and theme of the game. Don't overuse spin when play across multiple games. I see this a lot in this section and in the facts section. Spin used kind of every single time. And even in the examples, I have a spin one. So the steps for this one: intro the game, introduce the slot keyword, and then entice the reader to play with some theme and personality. So examples: Starburst, right? Name of the game, comma, name of the game, comma, name of the game, comma. Each one of these has that. That's the beginning part. Introduce the game. Step 1, done. Next one, You want to introduce the slot keyword somewhere in here, but you also want to entice the reader to play. So Starburst, again, this is a very general kind of slot game. One of the most popular and rewarding video slots you'll ever spin. And this is kind of one of the examples I've had where you want to save your uses of the word fun and spin for games that are hard to describe. So you want to use those terms that are kind of your generic terms for really tough games, because you're going to need those descriptive words or verbs then. Less so with games like Bikini Party, where there's lots of ways to describe this game. Have fun in the sun with this bright and beachy, right? This is a game about, it's a bikini party, it says it in the name. Fun with sun with this bright and beachy online slot game. Joker Millions, the pick of progressive slots as fruits pile up and pounds mounts up. So this is a game, example where this is a fruit game. It's a progressive slot. Instead of points, they pile up the fruits, and as the fruits pile up, the pounds mound up. This is obviously written for the UK. So you'll notice with number 1, there's really no place to entice the reader with theme and personality. So instead, we did most popular and rewarding slot you'll ever play. We kind of kept it generic there. Generic, similar to the game. So let's look at some other examples. Good intros. Ariana, actually, let's start from the beginning. 5-reel drive, comma, grab your leather jacket. So that's theme-based. And enjoy flame grilled, theme-based, because this is about a diner. Fun with this mobile slot, right? So we have mobile slot in there. So that's the second. So remember, number 1, introduce the game. Key term, mobile slot. Personality in the middle, right? And they're not talking about features here, but this is a strong intro regardless, because we're going to talk about features in the next section. Adventure Palace, comma, so intro and game. Explore a lush jungle world with exotic creatures in this wild slot. So slot's the keyword, and the rest of it's giving it personality. Agent Jane Bond, comma, get your spy gear ready to tackle an exciting mission in this slot. So slot is used again. Get your spy gear ready to tackle an exciting mission is the information that's getting kind of setting the theme. Ariana slot, meet up with your favorite mermaid for an intriguing ocean adventure. This one, we have Ariana and then slot in the beginning. So the idea that you're going to put slot again, not necessarily going to come off well. And so the reason slot was put here in the beginning was because when you search Ariana, you might come up with a lot of different concepts. So they really want to identify it. So the same thing would be with South Park slot, comma, have fun with Kyle and the guys, blah, blah, blah. So you're not going to want to, in that same sentence, be like, have fun with Kyle and the guys on this video slot when you already said South Park slot. Now you're just keyword stuffing. Avalon slot. Oops, sorry. All right, so back to this. Avalon slot. Watch the tale come to life in a mobile slot quest worthy of royalty. So this has mobile slot, even despite what I just said. Watch the tale come to life in a mobile slot worthy of royalty. So the rest of it's playing on that. So as you can see, there's not a lot of feature talk here, and that's fine. Like, you don't want to get bogged down in the features in this section. I think, to be honest with you, it's more important that there's a feature labeled in the meta description. And then the next section is going to be stuff with features, because it's the feature section. That's all should really be in there. All right, so that is the intro section. 90 words. Make sure slot name, comma. Make sure that you introduce another slot keyword. And don't just rely on slot, video slot game, online slot. Even if you go online game, different variations, slot machine, things like that. And then entice the reader with some theme and get creative with it. So the next section is probably the one that we've had the most issues with in terms of people just not understanding. And so this one I put together the most information on, and I've personally spent the most time kind of crafting. And I think I have a really good idea for this section now. And I understand the issues. The main issues lie in that we are trying to do something very specific and put a lot of information in a very small amount of characters. So the feature length of this section is 185 characters. And from a formatting perspective, when you use wilds, scatters, any of the concepts that you're going to lay out, you want to capitalize them. This includes any associated words. So let's say that you're talking about South Park and it's a South Park wild. There would be capital S, capital P, capital W. Everything when it's so scatters, let's say it's hand grenade scatters, capital H, capital G, capital S. Okay. Multipliers are written 5x, 10x, not times 5 times 10. So those are basic formatting pieces. Excuse me. Primary keywords are going to be the name of the slot plus the features. So area on a wilds, wild breakaway. So if somebody's looking for different, basically what we're looking for here is if people are searching for different game features, that they find us when they go. We'll also secondarily want slot game, different terms towards the end of these. And I'll show you where those should show up. But same thing as last time, like our secondary versions. Now, you've been asked to put a slot variation, slot keyword in the meta. You've been asked to put it in the intro. You've been asked to put it in this section, and you'll be asked to put it in the facts section. You should not use the same slot keyword twice in a text. Okay. So if you're saying videos, now the word slot, obviously you're going to have to use again. But if you've said video slot already, don't keep using video slot through the entire thing. Online slot, mobile slot, right? You want to vary those because again, you're only have 130 words or so. And so it's going to be important for you to vary up what you're doing. All right, so the objective, be creative, but keep it simple and keep it casino. Clearly be inspired by the game theme, but equally by the main features. This section should detail the features a player wishes to find. That's the biggest thing about this section. If I'm a player and I love casino, I should come here and know exactly what I'm looking for in terms of the casino features and be able to find the game that I want to play. This should sell me on the game because I care about the features. Don't interfere with game terms like Temple Wilds by inserting words. So Temple Crazy Wilds, or to just keep it simple. This section is all about keeping it pretty straightforward and pretty simple and following the patterns. So notes, feature section is very formatted. Like I said, it intros 3 features in detail. Never start the feature section with wilds. So the first thing you don't want to have is Temple Wilds. And some of the examples I'll show you have wilds in there, and that's actually a change that just was added. And so we're going to be changing those up. I'm actually looking right now, see if I can find one. Yeah, right. So Barbar Black Sheep, this one right here. If you look at it, look out for the classic bars layout. Actually, that's the second. Barbar Black Sheep Wild, so that's the second one. So yeah, you just want to make sure it's not the first one in, because those are always going to basically just say XX Wild, because wilds are pretty much the same throughout every game. They just take the place of other things, and sometimes they'll add a multiplier on top. Feature section needs to be written, and this is a big one. Needs to be written with the idea of, so you're going to write look out for colon and then the 3 features, or you'll write watch for colon 3 features. When you're writing it, and we're going to talk about this, you want to really basically write it without any verbs. And so every single feature you write needs to make sense with that beginning and read as a sentence, look out for, and then blank, right? So what I mean by that, look out for, so this one's wrong, right? Wilds. Like, look at this example from Kuza. Look out for wilds. What kind of wilds? Probably Kuza wilds, right? But this also shouldn't start there. And then you want to read the next one. Look out for bonus box scatters and mystery stacked reels where mystery symbols replace random symbols to up your chances for a win. So the way this one's reading, I'm guessing, because we're not using a Oxford comma, bonus box scatters was the next thing. All right. One of the problems I already have with this one is you have the wilds, which a lot of the times don't have an identifier, but why should I look out for the bonus box scatters? A lot of times they're attached to free spins or multipliers. So it'd be look out for bonus box scatters for up to 25 free spins or something like that. And mystery stacked reels where mystery symbols replace random symbols, right? And then you go from there. So you really want to limit the verb usage. When you're writing these, it wants to be look out for scatters for what? For up to 25 free spins. Look out for scatters to unlock the bonus game. Look out for the rolling reels for a chance to get expanded wilds, things like that. So what you want to stay away from is look out for scatters triggering, and we'll look at an example that does that. Like, that's not how it's supposed to read. Like, you can use the word trigger in some cases, but you want to say to look out for 3 scatters that trigger 25 free spins. And usually if you're going to use trigger, you want it to be something that's not up to. All right, that can trigger up to. Now you're adding a lot of words that are not going to be super valuable. We'll go through some sections. Always end with a variation of at LeoVegas. And here's how we want to break it down. 40% of the time, we just want to say at LeoVegas. 40% of the time, we want to use some at LeoVegas King of Mobile Casino, at LeoVegas Casino for 10%, LeoVegas Mobile Casino. So not always at LeoVegas, because it becomes very pattern driven. And so we see that here at LeoVegas. Through most of the sheet, it's at LeoVegas. And this is new information we just got. So this is something we're adding to the mix. So let's go down. This, like I said, more than anything else, is super pattern driven. And so the way I broke it down to an extra sample where we actually explain the example patterns more. And then we'll go to the examples. So steps for writing this. 1, pick 3 features to highlight. Make sure you choose what the player should look for. Symbols, feature, and what triggers it, or what it triggers, right? Again, I don't like, great, these are the scatters. What do they trigger? What do the scatters do? Or if you're writing about a bonus game, all right, but how do I get into the bonus game? Is it from the scatters? These are the things that we want to know. Feature section should be laid out in a pattern. Look out for feature 1, feature 2, no Oxford comma, and feature 3 on this slot keyword at LeoVegas variation. Okay, that's the exact setup. So if you only have 2 features, you haven't done it correctly. If you are writing verbs that don't utilize look out, like everything should read out as a sentence. Look out for feature 1, feature 2, and feature 3 on this slot keyword at LeoVegas. Make sure each feature has the correct verb tense or prepositions. Again, minimize verbs. Make sure you have the proper prepositions. So here's an example of what you want to do. Look out for at the beginning. For example, what you don't want to look out for 3 scatters trigger 25 wins, right? So what was happening was a lot of people were reading because of the colon. 3 scatters trigger 25 wins. But the way I want you to look at the sentence is incorporating the look out for. Look out for 3 scatters trigger 25 wins. It doesn't make any sense. So this would be look out for 3 scatters to trigger 25 spins, right? 2 instead of just trigger. So you can keep the trigger in there and just add the 2 to make it work. Or you could say look out for 3 scatters for up to 25 spins, or for 25 spins. So you don't even need to utilize the actual verb. So that's the way to work through there. Number 4, don't add features without explaining how they trigger those features. Let me fix this. For example, you should not say, look out for 25 free spins, because you don't get 25 free spins. Like, so that's not being honest. People are going to go there expecting 25 free spins, and in order to get those 25 free spins, they're connected to 3 scatters, right? So you have to get 3 scatters to get those 25 free spins. Let me actually expand that out a little bit, this window. All right, so like I said, guess to look out for 3 scatters to get 25 free spins. Scatters unlock the spins. You'll see the same thing with bonus games. So bonus games are good to look out for, but how do you get to the bonus games? Now, with that said, you're still limited space. So if you've had a really big, like, you've already used a lot of terms by time you come to the end, and the bonus game is one of the best features, then you are going to want to add that in without necessarily saying what triggers it. The way that these should also be written, feature 1 should be the number 1 feature of the game. Feature 2 and feature 3. Essentially, if you're looking at it, feature 3 should probably be the wilds, because all the games have wilds and there's nothing that's super interesting about the wilds. But your first feature should probably be the most interesting thing about the game. So the example pattern I put together is this. Look out for feature 1, right? So the first feature, 3 diamond bowl scatters for 15 free spins. Again, 3 diamond bowl scatters. What does it trigger? 15 free spins. Preposition, not a verb. 4. So there's an agreement for look out for 3 diamond bowl scatters for 15 free spins. Feature 2, comma, feature 2. 3 times, remember, you can do 3 times. You can't do times 3. 3 times pays and wildcats aplenty in the bonus game. Okay, so we're talking about there's 3x multiples and wildcats aplenty. But where? So if I just wrote those features out, they wouldn't make any sense. But what triggered them? The bonus game. So that's feature 2. In this case, we have another comma, but it should actually be, and we'll correct this here. And the kitty glitter wild symbol and a white Persian, right? So these are just symbols, and this is the last feature because these aren't really symbols that people are going to, again, come and play here just for those symbols. For wonderful pays, another option you could have put in is, and this, I think this was a very early version that we got from the customer, but another version we could have put in is on this mobile slot at LeoVegas with a variation, right? So feature 1, feature 2, feature 3, secondary keyword, LeoVegas variation. Make sure that prepositions and verbs agree with look out for, and that's it. You're done, right? So there's no place to really put personality in some of these, and then there is, and sometimes you'll be able to, but it's not your main goal with these is to get the features nailed down. So let's look at some of the examples. Look out for 3 diamond bold scatters for 15 free spins, comma, 3x pays and wildcats aplenty in the bonus game. And then this is the one we did, and kitty glitter wild symbols. Look out for treasure chest free spins with stacked wild symbols. Okay. Temple wilds with 2-time and 3-time multipliers, and a gamble button with golden princess at online casino Vegas. One change I might make to this one. And now, use an ampersand since you have this and here. And so just from like a visual perspective, I think it looks better. Let's go back to the beginning. Look out for treasure chest free spins with stacked wild symbols. Now, I know what some of you might be saying. Well, you said no free spins without telling us what triggered it. But remember what I said, that we're highlighting the most important features, and we're also limited by character length. And so we have a lot of stuff going on in this one, in this description. So what we're actually looking at is the stacked wild symbols, which is one of the most important features of the game. But how do you get to the stacked wild symbols? Treasure chest free spins, right? So look out for treasure chest free spins with stacked wilds. Look out for temple wilds with 2 and 3x multipliers. Look out for a gamble button, right? Gamble button's important on these. It allows you to hit it and then basically wager your winnings. A gamble button with Golden Princess at the online casino LeoVegas. So it's a variation. Okay. Next one. Look out for scattered shields, right? So these are shield scatters for free spins, right? Just 4 free spins. Look out for the round table of fortune with up to 100 times multiplier. Look out for the eternal love bonus. And this is just the way I'm reading it to make sure there's agreement. But, I should read, look out for scattered shields for free spins, the round table of fortune with up to 100x multiplier, and the love bonus in the Forsaken Kingdom at LeoVegas. Or you can say in this mobile slot at LeoVegas, or some variation of that. Sometimes like with these last two, we're utilizing the name of the slot almost as a way to add the theme back in because it's been devoid. But as we can see, there's scattered shields preposition, the round table of fortune with up to. So, we're not relying on verbs to get these things done. And that should be how you approach this going into these. Let's look at some examples. So look out for the classic bar layout. Right, bar black sheep's a really basic slot, so it's just bars and sheep, and so it's like that classic 3-bar, 2-bar kind of slot. I think it has 5 reels, 15 pay lines. So look out for the classic bars layout. Look out for bar black sheep wilds. Look out for wool bag scatters, a free spin bonus feature, and random multipliers. So there's a bunch of things in here that we could probably take out if we wanted to. Let's see a really good example. So this is a good one. Boogie Monster. Look out for 3 or more bat symbols trigger the Fat Bat bonus game, right? So we know what's triggering the bonus game, what's the name of the bonus game. Now, the problem with this one, 3 or more bat symbols trigger, right? I don't like that. So I would put 2 trigger to clean it up a little bit. 3 lava lamps lead to 13 free spins, right? So we have another verb in here. So let's go ahead and just cut it out. 3 lava lamps for 13 free spins. And dancing monsters create a lively slot game at LeoVegas. Okay, that's fine. So that's a good cleanup of that slot. I think again. So we look at bar black sheep. I would probably actually cut out this classic layout, move the wilds around. My gut feeling is that the wool bag scatters actually unlock the free spins, right? So let's clean this up real quick. Wool bag scatters for free spin bonus feature. Let's say 2-0. Let's go ahead and make that the first one because I think that's the most. I want to move these to the end. All right, so wool bag scatters to open the free spin bonus feature, bar black sheep wilds, and random multipliers to help increase your prize with this mobile slot at LeoVegas. Boom, hits our character length, and we've essentially reconfigured it to meet the exact requirements, right? Because we have feature 1, which is the longest feature. Feature 2, which is the wilds. Random multiplier. Let's go ahead and get rid of this Oxford comma. And then to help increase your prize, says what it does. Mobile slot at LeoVegas. Boom, done. Okay. Let's take a look at this one. Multiple bonus features. Merlin awarding you random cash prizes. And the middle reel with its expanding wild that uncovers the famous Grail bonus at LeoVegas. Right. So this last one is a long one. Look out for the middle reel with its expanding wild that uncovers the famous. Yep. Look out for Merlin awarding you random cash prizes. Or you can just say, look out for Merlin with random cash prizes. I don't have a problem with awarding here, but if you wanted to stick to the strict no verb thing, and I'm thinking this is actually the Merlin symbol. If you want to put it that way, you probably want to capitalize it. Multiple bonus features, right? So personally, I think that we should also do this. Now, one of the reasons I think this is probably a meta that I'd want to have rewritten is I want to know what the multiple bonus features are rather than you telling me there's multiple bonus features. So this is one I would actually look at and say, okay, what's in the slot database or what's on the actual game to look at this. All right, so that's the feature section. That's the one that is going to take some practice to get used to, and then once you have it, it's pretty straightforward. All right, the facts section. You have a max of 230 characters to appear on 5 lines. Open with maximum win. So this one reads maximum win, the number, and you're putting just the X's in there because they need to put in the maximum win amounts because they might change. Don't place words between the colon and the win figure. We've had people try to be creative. Maximum win. Get your hands on X amount. No, we don't want that. Just put that initial maximum win, open number, and then right. Don't repeatedly use the same grammatical construction. So you don't want to see the maximum win of blah, 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 is yada, yada. You want to get creative with it. Capitalize the game name, but not the slot words. In the UK, the RTP is the return for player. You need to add that in for microgaming. I think we've taken care of most of those by now. You want to make sure you use a secondary slot term in here. You want to end with a call to action. That part's really important. This is like, hey, I've told you all about this. Now go play it. It needs to be fun. It needs to be something people actually want to read. And then you start to fall into, well, and you got to also get away from using spin over and over. I saw a bunch of versions that came through from someone where it was every single one was spin, like go spin this or spin to win, and it was over and over. So that's wrong. And then the second layer of wrong was I saw somebody using a templated version where it was like spin down the reels to have an adventure of yada yada, but it kept doing that, spin down the reels. And so you don't want to be templated. You want to be unique with your CTA. The objective of this section, there are 2 creative areas to this part. The first one is the maximum win. You want to get creative right after the maximum win. I'll show you what I mean. Then the CTA. Use the theme to fit related keywords in. Don't repeat the same keywords that you did earlier in the text, right? So nouns, verbs, and slot words you don't want to be utilizing over and over again. Don't force the keywords. Find a natural spot for them. Read it aloud and make sure that the CTA makes sense. Like I said, notes. Don't repeat the CTA on games. Saw it. Don't want to see it anymore. Don't make a template for the CTA. Always add the currency when referring to minimum and maximum bets. With that note, you're not writing like 0.12 pounds. You're writing 12 pence. And then the pound. So when it's just a fraction of a pound or a fraction of a dollar or a fraction of a euro, you always want to write what the change variation in that country is. Don't be generic on step 1. Use facts or themes from the game. Don't use blah 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 as the top prize. Kept saying that this is the top win. It's not creative. And so going down to the steps here, create a creative descriptive phrase for the maximum win and include a slot keyword or the slot name if the characters fit. XXX is a treasure to behold in this video slot from, right, whatever. Step 2, then state which provider the game is from. So micro gaming, whatever it is, from. This is where you can actually use from. These are the people that create it. 3, note the reels, pay lines, or ways to win. Min bet, max bet, RTP, whatever. Then go and close it out. Okay. So examples, max win, the currency amount is the special treat on this 5-reel drive by microgaming, right? So characters by microgaming featuring 9 pay lines, start with a minimum bet of XXX, right? So the reason they put 5 reels in, we already have 5-reel drive. Start with a minimum bet of whatever cents or super size, right? So they're getting creative inside of the max min bet. So burn rubber and set this video slot afire. Okay, so they're playing on the theme of the game when you went here would be fire, flames, 50s cars, things like that. Max win. This amount is the big appeal of the Twisted Circus slot from microgaming. It has 5 reels, 243 pay lines, and these aren't actually pay lines. So if it's 243, it's ways to win. So I'll change that. And an RTP of 96.36%. Bets range from cents to euros. So grab a seat, spin, and spin the show and steal the spotlight. So this is use of spin. I like these uses of spin where it's not just spin X. So there's been stuff where we've done like so instead of ready set go, ready set spin, because it's a sports one. I think there was one that was like game set spin for a tennis one. So creative uses of spin I'm fine with. This amount of money awaits a winner in this South Park video slot by NetEnt with 5 reels and 25 pay lines. Spins are between, but the sitcom snaps are for one and all. So take a stroll in South Park and win as you wander. So these are all telling you to go take an action. Also, awaits a winner instead of is the special. I think you want to use the word is a lot, but after the money amount. But if you can find creative ways to do something different, that would be good as well. So let's look at some of the examples that I pulled up. Let's go back to the beginning because these beginning ones were better. I think the other ones I had in there for editing purposes. All right, so we did that one. This amount is an enticing offer for adventurers in this micro gaming slot. With 5 reels and 9 pay lines, try a minimum bet of XC or climb the jungle vines. I really like where people add in creative variants for the max and min bets. Grab your gear and start spinning. So there's another one. Awaits the most highly trained agents in this micro gaming slot. Play 5 reels and 9 intriguing play lines. Just added a word there to make it a little more... add more personality. Just grab your gear and join Agent Blonde on the reels. Okay, so this one doesn't have spin in it. This one's Ariana. It's the mermaid one. This amount of money waits in the deep with Ariana's treasure. Right, so this one is not using sit. So the last one we had awaits. This one is waits in the deep with Ariana's treasure in this micro gaming slot with 5 reels and 25 pay lines. Start with a minimum bet of X or make a whale of a max, right? So just something to add some creativity. Swim away with this mobile slot adventure. Doesn't use spin again. So these are good examples, right? You want to talk in a creative way about the maximum win, add in the provider name, reels, pay lines, something interesting in there with min bet or max bet, and then close with a CTA. Okay. So those are the details of how to really crank through these. And so we have some more examples here that we'll look at. So Bridezilla, so let's go through each one. This is the slot. Bridezilla slot title. Bridezilla slot piping. Take a bonus up to 1,200 euros down the aisle. Okay. So the aisle is a play on Bridezilla. We have the bonus in there. Good to go. Creative. Now the meta. This Bridezilla slot, not the Bridezilla slot, right? So it's right on there. Takes a laugh at the stress of weddings while giving you the perfect way to blow off steam with an engaging mobile casino game. So the only thing this one's missing is LeoVegas being in there. But I think it does such a good job of describing the game in a compact place, I might let it go. But another way you could do this, Bridezilla slot at LeoVegas takes a laugh at the stress of weddings while giving you the perfect way to blow off the steam. And then you could probably sit with this mobile casino game or casino game if you needed to get rid of some words. So again, we introduced the slot. We added some personality into the mix, and we added secondary keywords, mobile casino game. Bridezilla, comma. Now you want to add some features. Blast away your jitters with this hilarious wedding-themed slot game. So slot game is your secondary keyword, and we added in some personality in the mix of our 90 words. Now we have our features section. Look out for the golden wedding bells scatter for up to 20 free spins. Okay, so that's feature one. Next one, look out for the wild bride and a Bridezilla multiplier feature for extra fun. Right, so the way it should read is look out for the wild bride. So the bride's the wild. And then look out for a Bridezilla multiplier feature for extra fun in this amorous slot. Right, so you have slot again at LeoVegas Mobile Casino. It's a really good feature section. Has all three features, perfect. Perfect layout. The wild isn't the first thing. And they're all laid out correctly. Maximum win. This amount of money offers, right? So instead of it offers an alluring prize in Micro Gaming's Bridezilla slot. Alluring prize. That's good enough for right now. It differentiated from is the treasure, is the reward. Spin 5 reels of churches and cakes. So they're telling some stuff about the different symbols that are there. With 243 ways to win. Propose a minimum bet, right? So that's an interesting way to lay out the theme of the game. And then say yes to a max of blank blank C cents. Get ready to say I do. So it's another thing of action. So that's a good text from beginning to end. Does each thing that each section is supposed to do. So Agent Jane Blonde, go incognito with 200% deposit bonus. Right, so you have the incognito, which is the play on spying. You have the deposit bonus in there. Pretty much good to go. The FBI's female answer to 007, Agent Jane Blonde, immerses you in the sexy world of espionage. So this whole beginning part is introducing the game and the features. Accept the mission at LeoVegas for the perfect payout. So it does a good job at introducing the game. One thing that it's short on right now is it doesn't have a secondary keyword. But again, I think it's creative enough and it has the game and it says LeoVegas. Agent Jane Blonde, comma, introduce the game. Work undercover and pile up the cash in this thrilling online slot. Okay, so work undercover is enough to set the feature up. Use online slot, pile up the cash, that's fine. See how they did on the feature section. Look out for 3 Agent Jane Blonde scatters to earn 15 free spins. Agent Jane Blonde wilds and the gamble feature that doubles or quadruples successful wagers in this game at LeoVegas. Perfect. Look out. It has all of the agreement is correct. Has the 3 features laid out. Has LeoVegas. And then they use game as a secondary keyword. Max win of blank is worth keeping top secret. All right. So feature, it's a play on personality there. This online slot by Microgaming features 5 reels. So they're using online slot as a secondary thing. A note, you don't have to use the name of the game in this facts section. It's not one of the things that we discussed. And so we found a lot of people putting in the name of the game, which you can do, but it's not something that has to happen. They use it here at the end again. Features 5 reels and 9 pay lines. Place your bets between X and X. Dive into this exciting world of espionage with Agent Jane Blonde. One note on this one that could make it better is we use espionage here, and I think we use espionage in the meta. So it's a repetition of words that we don't need. We shouldn't be using the same word twice in such a small amount of text. So break the bank again, open the vault with €1,500 bonus or £1,500 bonus. Crack the code of break the bank again to find gold bars behind the vault door of this mobile slot game at LeoVegas, right? So mobile slot game lays out the feature. Now a gamble feature can increase your steal. So now we have a feature laid out as well. This is probably a perfect meta to where we have the name of the game. We have personality behind it. We lay out some of the features of the game. We have a secondary keyword, and we have LeoVegas in there. Break the bank again, a slot that's practically dripping with gold bars, coins, and cash. So we have the word slot in there. We introduce the game, and we have the theme. So that's another good one. The gamble button, which doubles winnings. Break the bank again wilds, and 3 or more vault doors scatters for up to 25 free spins on this slot game at LeoVegas Mobile Casino. This is a good feature section. All agreement with the prepositions and verbs. The wilds are second in the list. Everything is clear what triggers what. The gamble button doubles winnings. 3 or more vault door scatters for up to 25 free spins. Max win XXX is a big haul on Break the Bank again mobile slot by Microgaming. There's 5 reels and 9 pay lines. Choose your bets for between X and X and run with the swag as your reward. Or run off with the swag as your reward. So, I mean, everything is good on this one from top to bottom. Good, solid title, solid meta, solid intro. It hits on all the different points. Let's see if there's another one in here. This one, Dragon's Myth slot. Hunt dragons for a bonus of up to £1,500. Join a Viking girl on her hunt for dragons in this Dragon's Myth video slot at LeoVegas, right? So this one introduces the game. It's Viking related. Video slot, LeoVegas. Enter the Dragon's Cave in the bonus game to complete your journey. So this, again, is another one that hits on all the different points. Lays out the personality, has the name of the game, lays out a feature, secondary term video slot, and introduces LeoVegas. Dragon's Myth. Embark on a fantastical adventure as you capture dragons and pile treasure. That's good. Dragon's Myth, comma, and then you have personality added in play. And the only thing that is missing is there's no slot term in here, but I think it's pretty good on its own. Look out for at least 3 fiery mountain scatters for up to 20 free spins. Look out for the bonus symbol in free spins mode to open the Dragon's Cave and the gamble button in this slot at LeoVegas. 3 features, good preposition agreement, verb agreement. Everything's written clearly, and it lays out the best features. In this one, as you can see, we don't even lay out a wild because that's not the best feature in the game. Some of the feature-rich games, you can actually leave wilds out because they're probably not going to be as exciting as some of the other stuff that's in there. Some games, you're not going to have any features outside of wilds, so those are become a little bit harder. Maximum win, XXX awaits a Viking on their journey. This Rabcat slot has 5 reels and 20 pay lines. You can play each spin for between XP and X pounds. Turn this fantasy adventure into a thrilling reality. And so you can see that, some people put the RTP in the beginning. Some people put it at the end. Some people put pay lines and they put stuff in the middle. The whole thing here is not to be repetitious, or repetitive, not to use a format or a template that you're continuously reutilizing so they all don't sound the same. Let's go through really quick and look at some raw examples and see if there's ways for us to edit them as we go through. Okay, so I think you can, let's look at this wild time slot. Wild time slot, go fruity for our 1500 casino bonus. Actually, let's pull this up on LeoVegas so we can see what it looks like. Wild times. All right, so while we're waiting for that to load, we'll read through it. Go fruity for our 1500 or 1500 pound casino bonus. So I'm guessing this is a fruit slot. A classic fruit machine with stars and bars. This wild time slot at LeoVegas provides hours, I'm guessing is what it's supposed to be. Hours of nostalgic fun. Okay, so so far so good. We have the theme, nostalgic. We've introduced the slot and we've introduced LeoVegas. We put slot with wild times. It's fine. Match fruit and place a big bet to score. So we'll see. Like, this is a little bit generic, but I'm guessing this is a super generic game. But you know, we're already using the word fun. I'm guessing big bet. This is actually a feature, so it's a feature use. That's good. Let's see if I'm right on that one. Reload the game. All right, here we go. All right, so good to go. So yeah, fruit slot looks like, you know, this is, by the way, it's a good indicator. Like, these are the reels. These are the pay lines. So it looks like this is a 5 pay line. You can tell by when they have these numbers over here what's the largest one. So it's a 5 pay line game. They have the big bet button, which allows you to make a big bet off the bat. It's blasting in my ear immediately. So it allows you to make a big bet, and it's basically like some different bonus game features off the bat by making a big bet. Just for those of you that don't know how these might work, when you go in, you'll either see like an eye or a view pay table, different things like that. You click on that, and that's where you're able to get things like, you know, this star, 3 of these equals 500 times the line bet, not the full bet. So that's what's important with some of this, is like understanding the terminology. Like, you're not going to win 500 times your full bet, 500 times the line bet. Wild substitutes for all symbols. All awards shown on the wheel are per winning line, not per bet. Wilds only appear on reels 2 and 3. That's something I like to use in the feature section. This game looks like it's going to be thin on features, so I would use, like, when I'm writing my features section, the wilds show up because the wild also doesn't have anything descriptive with it. The wilds show up on reels 2 and 3. Pay lines, yeah, there's not much in terms of features, so we're probably going to need to rely in the features section of this one on the big bet options. Sorry for yelling. It keeps blaring in my ear. So we'll have to rely on the big bet options, the wilds, and then this would be a game where I might also use the fruit, the actual symbols. So look out for, you know, wilds on reels 2 and 3, the big bet options that go up to whatever stake they go up to, and the cherries and watermelon symbols at this online slot at LeoVegas. So let's see what they decided to do with theirs. All right. So Wild Time's a classic 3-reel fruit machine with modern extras, creates a fun slot to spin. All right. So this is fine. All right. So fun slot to spin. My problem right now is that we're using fun again. Okay. We already used fun up here, And so like just a simple change, like an exciting slot to spin. And then, right, take out classic because we're probably overusing the word classic as well. Yeah, there's classic up here. So let's go ahead and take classic out. A 3-reel fruit machine with modern extras creates an exciting slot to spin. Right, so now we're not overusing words. Not yet. We might have to change more. All right. Look out for wilds on reels 2 and 3, substituting for all symbols. Okay, so like I said, they are starting off with that one. Now, this person doesn't understand the feature section, so let's take a look. This is a good example of one that needs to change. And I'm guessing it's because they didn't know what else to write about. So wilds on reels 2 and 3, substituting for all symbols. That's fine. That's an actual feature. And the big bet feature, increasing pay lines to 27 with 5 spins per game. Okay, that's also fine. What's missing is a third feature on this one. Okay, so and the big bet feature. And so I also haven't gotten into verb agreement. So look out for wilds on reels 2 and 3, substituting for all symbols. So I would actually put that substitute. I might have spelled that wrong. For this case, just don't judge me on my spelling. All right, so let's go ahead and drop this one to the. All right, look out for the big bet feature. Right, increasing. Look out for the big bet feature, increasing pay lines. So what I would say is. For pay lines up to 27. See, I would actually rewrite all of this. See, so you could say to increase pay lines to 27 with 5 spins per game. Then I would put in my wilds on reels 3. 2, 3 that substitute for all symbols, and watermelon and cherry symbols. So I would actually, since we say wilds on reels 2 and 3, let's go ahead and get rid of that substitute for all symbols because we're going to use the word symbols again. And watermelon and cherry symbols. In this, I want to get rid of classic. We've already used it, right? And so, like, why not use? Oh, and this one's also missing LeoVegas. This one's missing a lot. In this online video slot at LeoVegas, right? And so let's go over LeoVegas.com now. Let's say this one's short. This one's fine, but let's say it was short for some reason. We could use one of our variations for. So we go to features and then we use one of our variations that's longer, LeoVegas King of Mobile Casino, if we have something that's shorter. But I was able to, with a slot that's pretty limited, put together, I think, what's going to be a workable feature. All right, what's the biggest feature on this game? It's probably the big bet feature because there's not much else going on. So look out for the big bet feature to increase pay lines to 27 with 5 spins per game. Look out for wilds on reels 2 and 3. And so, you know what, let's put an ampersand in there since there's an and coming up. And since we're using reels in this case, let's go ahead and capitalize reels when you're using them in this case. Okay. On reels 2 and 3. And watermelon and cherry symbols in this online video slot at LeoVegas.com. All right, let's get rid of this. Let's leave it. All right. Right. So we're good. We're good to go. That feature section needed a lot of work, but I'm glad I was able to work through it because you're able to see what was there. Maximum win of X amount is a sweet treat. That's a good, even though it's just using is, I like sweet treat on these reels. So it's a play on the fruit theme. This wild time slot by Barcrest offers 3 reels and 5 pay lines for old school gameplay. That's all fine. Laying out some some personality. Bets range from X to X, allowing you to up the ante anytime on LeoVegas. This one is less of a call to action than just saying what's going on. So let's rewrite that. Bets range from X amount to, right? And so let's get a little creative, to a juicy XX, allowing, and then we'll write allowing you to pile up the fruits and the good times. Right, good times play on wild times. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. The wild times. And then let's get rid of this wild times up here. This mobile slot. Right, so this matches what we need. So is a sweet treat on these reels. This mobile slot by Barcrest offers 3 reels and 5 pay lines for old school gameplay. Bets range from X to a juicy X. To a juicy, let's put a juicy max of X, allowing you to pile up the fruit and the wild times. And if we want to, we can rewrite this a little bit to make it more action driven. So I don't like the allowing. That's why we got rid of the original one. So we can say, go pile up the fruit and the wild times. All right, boom. So that makes a good fact section right there. Has an interesting max win sentence. It says who the game is by. It offers up all the information, reels, bet lines. We added a juicy max to make it a little more personality driven, and then we told them what to go do. Go pile up the fruit in the wild times. So we were able to use the game name to actually play on that, and as you saw, we were able to cut out a bunch of the different redundancy that we had throughout there. I'm gonna do another video with a bunch of examples of me editing pieces, so we'll stop this webinar here, having reviewed the information for how to write one of these pieces. You're going to be asked and you're going to be paid to complete a test at this point. And so I think a good option would be to review the other video of me editing the pieces. But if you feel that you have a good hold on this now, you can go ahead and take the test. We're going to be asking you to write a sample piece, to edit a piece as well. And that should, give us some good insight onto where you're at in terms of capabilities for this campaign. Again, appreciate you taking on the campaign and giving us feedback on how we can improve this from your side. Look forward to rolling out more of these campaigns. I think one of the positives here is this is a large campaign, gives a lot of opportunity for work with CopyPress. But yeah, keep giving us feedback if there's issues, and we'll continue to roll out more and more training. Thanks.